I want to talk a little bit about conversation and what that means. Um, it's always been an idea that's intrigued me, and it's sometimes argued, quite plausibly in my opinion, that the appropriate quote unquote description of the world is that it's turtles all the way down. This is a familiar Native American, I think I could be getting that completely wrong, myth about the creation of the world. That the earth is literally strapped to the back of a turtle. And when the question arises with an almost uncontainable giddiness, what then, good sir, is that turtle standing on? The response is, obviously, a slightly larger turtle, and so on and so forth. It's simply larger and larger turtles all the way down, robbing our confused questioner of some well deserved pride. This all the way down problem has taken many forms over the years, from the epistemological to the cosmological, and the theological and scientific, mostly in the ivory tower, that is. The problem of infinite regress, the ability to not only continuously, but successfully ask, but why, to every proposition, such that we end up frustrated, trapped, or both, is of no small importance in philosophy. Yet its importance has probably been exaggerated some, at times to the point of paralysis. We might say theoretical progress, while all well and good, is often practical paralysis, or at the very least, practical irrelevance. But I imagine one could replace turtles in this story, this myth, with something less arbitrary, making the turtles all the way down hypothesis less jocular and more intriguing. Perhaps enough to make someone say with a genteel pretentiousness, there, good sir, go on with your argument a bit further and we will see where it leads. Turtles, in other words, can be shooed away easily, if a little bit slowly. Other things perhaps not so much. Richard Rorty thought it was imagination that went all the way down. He says, quote, "Romanticism tells us that reason would have nothing to do, that we would have nothing to think about, had imagination not been at work." End quote. So in my version of the turtles all the way down story, the turtles are replaced not by imagination, like Rorty thought, but conversation. To be sure, replacing turtles with conversation moves everything from the cosmological and theological realm over to epistemology. You know, the realm where a very special and secluded group of people ask questions like, how do we know that we know? Rather than, who created the universe? I'm content to answer the former question with, we don't ever know for sure, so perhaps we try something else for a bit. And I'll answer the latter question with a turtle. People who ask the former kinds of questions find my simple and somewhat flippant remark horrifying. Of course, we don't ever know for sure, they'll say, but don't you want to at least get closer to sure? To which I might backtrack a bit and say, indeed, but we shouldn't inflate the importance of this method. In philosophical terms and jargon, let's be careful not to overemphasize the heuristic of epistemology in the practical, everyday affairs of life. It is important, no doubt, but it is not self-evidently important or authoritatively important. Returning to the common lexicon, let's not all recoil in horror when we we come across the person who, after being shown that their belief is not as justified as another, whatever that means, supposedly better belief, that they continue to hold the original belief anyway. Life isn't a game of operation. It's not as if there's some belief box that we can analyze or get to independently of a person's behavior or other beliefs.